And we are back with Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Uh, to confess something, it has been quite a while since I recorded part 1, nearly 2 months, so we'll see how this goes.
You mean something good might happen if I can get the wheel to spin fast enough?
Isn't that what I just said?
It feels like they were going really hard on some like cartoon tropes in Sly 1. Like right there feels like some Ninja Turtles level technobabble that they were doing for Bentley because he's the tech nerd character. And I'm sure that was also the thing that they had in Sly 2 and 3, but it feels like they were really going hard with it here. I feel like they had a pretty good variety of levels for the first level and first thing in Raleigh. Like a lot of them are machine based, but you know this one feels very warm. You know, a lot of hot fire down below is the name of the level. Whereas the one with the spinning crankshaft, I forget its name, it had a lot more cool colors. So each of the levels, I think, feels pretty distinct, which is something you want, especially for a, a character platformer with only a few levels per world. So this right here killed at least one recording attempt of mine, as I missed a bottle or two in this little area here. Yeah, like I said last part, the ability to look through the Binocucom and see where the bottles are located can be actually kind of helpful. The breakables, not so much, but the bottles, yes. I want to say that if you already have a golden horseshoe, whenever you would see just a horseshoe that you can pick up, it just won't be there. It won't be like replaced with an extra life or anything. These little coal lumps always stood out to me as, I don't know, you hit them several times and they seem to drop a lot of coins, so it's little weird things like that that can really stick out in your mind about games, particularly from your childhood. This little wheel thing here that we also saw earlier as well. When I was a kid, I did not make the connection to the rock in the background, which clearly has that steam coming off of it. That effect was certainly done so you could see it through the glass. I didn't notice that. I just knew that if you ran on the wheel long enough, it would the thing next to it would be destroyed. Yeah, some of these levels feel very short from what I remember. And this is like one of the only levels where you have to go back through to get the vault because it's at the very beginning of the level.
It's got to be 579. Outstanding! Another page from the Thievius Raccoonus. This one features Dev Cooperenda's slow-motion jumps.
So I believe that this would be only the second page of the Thievius Raccoonus that we've recovered at this point, because the last one was just the plans from for Raleigh's hideout, so it's not from the Thievius Raccoonus. I want to bet that they just figured out how to like slow down the game's like frame rate and decide to make it an ability. Originally, I was going to cut the part there, but due to the way the timing worked out, it made more sense to do it earlier.
Nice light. You can adjust the game camera using the right analog stick. And to bring the camera behind you, click it.
I mean, I guess that is a little bit more modern, you actually utilizing like L3 and R3, particularly to recenter the camera, since this was back when you would use either like a trigger, a bumper, or like triangle to do that. So being economical and using L3 and R3 for ancillary camera stuff rather than game actions was a pretty forward-thinking decision here. I'm sure it wasn't the first game to do it.
Wait a second. What if I jumped into that barrel for protection?
I don't know. It looks pretty risky and very unsanitary.
Only one way to find out.
I never quite got why Bentley said that it looked unsanitary. I guess the barrel looks filthy. Looks fine to me. Oh, that's a pretty cool effect. Is you know, the fire guy, he hits the barrel and it turns to ash. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, clearly just put in there just that they could show that effect. Probably some sort of like, you know, like filter they put on the texture so that they don't. It's probably the same barrel texture, just like grayscaled. So here we have the classic mechanic in Sly of using a barrel to evade enemies. Can't see you if you're not moving, which I get it. I can't say it's my favorite mechanic. I don't think that the games use it too much, but the times where they do use it, well, okay, maybe the end of Sly 2 with the dynamite barrels is a bit much, but yeah, it's never been my favorite part of these games. The library setting here, again, pretty distinctive locale, and it fits with Raleigh being like an upper class villain. You know, he's got his refined literature. Feels really nice sneaking around too. You want to, as a thief, you want to feel like you're running around places that of opulent jerks that you're about to rob blind. So I saw a video where the guy was able to jump over the pressure plate there and not get hit. And, I mean, I never touched the pressure plate. It shouldn't have gotten me, so it's probably not something exclusively on the floor. It's probably like a invisible volume that goes all the way up. That triggers the dart shooters. This part up here with this Octo guard is a little awkward, what with the books getting in the way. There's something very zen in this game about just going through all the levels, searching thoroughly, finding clue bottles. I feel like in general they managed to split them up very nicely, so it feels like you're always doing something. Just very good level design.
Press the circle to enter the vault code.
Alright, let's see what we get this time.
With the help of a straight edge and compass, the answer was simple. Dial in 242.
So as you can see there, if you hold down the button past that, when he gets that number, he can spin past it and he still opens the vault just fine.
Technique. This move is an extension of the dive move you already know. Just jump and hit the triangle button near breakable objects for some fast breaking, fast collecting action.
So you always collect the abilities from vaults in the same order, regardless of which vaults they are, which made me... I mean, I've always more or less gotten all of the vaults, like, as soon as you can open them, but, you know, some of the things here are, like, you know, the blueprints to Raleigh's hideout, you know, but what if you didn't get any vaults until you went to mugshots? I'm wondering if it would... if you'd still get Raleigh's blueprints in one of Mugshot's vaults. I've always wanted to try it, and I never remember to, and then I play it again and do it normally, and then maybe remember about doing that when I'm not actively playing through the game. Alright, that does it for all of the levels in the front area, so let's head over to the back. I always remember this right here because it gives you a lot of coins for this stage in the game. Like, it feels like a massive bounty, and I'm sure, and I know that every halfway point where you unlock something with the 3 keys does that, gives you a similar amount of coins, but that one always felt notable. And I always remember that if you try and whack it, Sly does the, like, recoil animation.
You're not gonna tell me I have to shoot myself out of that cannon.
I'm afraid that's the only way.
Now you're talking.
You're really scaring me, man. Anyway, to get inside that thing, you had to steal all 7 of Raleigh's treasure keys.
So what are we waiting for? You show me those hollow what's-its.
You mean my holographic markers?
Yeah. And I'll swipe whatever it takes to get shot out of that cannon and steal back my family's Thievius Raccoonus.
Real quick, I wanted to show what it looks like when you try to open up something when you don't have enough keys. The locks you don't open just sort of jiggle and shine at you. These sorts of narrow ledges that you have to run on in 3D games, as a kid I was always really scared of them and like, oh geez, this is going to be the ultimate test of dexterity, and now it's like, whatever, just jump a little bit and it'll be fine. So here's the last standard platforming level of Raleigh's. Oh, let's listen to him for a minute. So yeah, once again, Raleigh, not much to like there, apart from him just being, you know, cool love-to-hate villain. But yeah, I mentioned before that there's typically 2 villain announcements per world. The first one is fairly early on, like when you first reach the hub area, and that's just general, like the villain talking to his guys. And then the second one in a level is about him complaining about how Sly's been running around stealing stuff and beating up guys. So, you know, got a slight bit of progression there and some build up. It's nice. This eye creature in this tank always freaks me out. I have no idea what it is or what it's doing there. It's just some cool set dressing, but it's like, whose idea was it to just put a random eye creature in a tank? So, weird interaction there. This was before their enemy AI was had gotten more advanced in Sly 2. If this was Sly 2 or 3, I would have gotten shot easy there, but... Yeah, these belly-flopping guys feel very Spyro 1 to me, like I said last part. I can't quite articulate why, but it's... Yeah, they just feel like they follow the Spyro 1 school of enemy attack design.
Oh, you're lucky, Sly. This page features Karen Cooper Giwa's coin magnet technique.
Ah, treasure magnet, as Kingdom Hearts would call it. These kinds of abilities are always my favorite, the ones that just make something that you're constantly doing just that little bit easier, and you really feel it in here. Well, not so much here, but like in Kingdom Hearts, it's you really feel, particularly Kingdom Hearts 1, increases in your pickup range. You really feel it, and it's really nice. And then, you know, something like Vampire Survivors, it's an entire, like, mechanic. A basic stat is your pickup range. And now we move on to the bane of my childhood playthroughs with this game. I had a lot of trouble with this level, and again, I was kind of like really, really anxious whenever I had to play it. I was like, no, please don't. And I was so relieved whenever I completed it. I would probably have said that this was the hardest level in the game before, and as an adult, it's stupendously easy, so long as you're paying any amount of attention.
Remember, you can always drive the sub in one direction while firing in another. To earn a treasure key...
Oh, there was a mistake in the subtitles there. It said the sub one direction, not the sub in one direction. Yes, this is the originator, the very first Sly Cooper twin-stick shooter segment, and the series absolutely loves these. You see them in all the hacking mini games. It's not just hacking mini games after this. I don't think there's got to be something else, but the series loves twin-stick shooters. You don't realize it, but these crabs are absolutely massive, as well as these treasure chests, because, like, you know, yeah, for some reason, the design of this level, you kind of get the feeling like you're driving like a little RC submarine. No, this is a full-size submarine. Sly's inside there. So everything here is gigantic, which also includes that treasure key.
Congratulations, you did it!
Speaking of the treasure keys, despite being such a big part of Sly 1, they've never made a reappearance in any of the later games, like, not even as an Easter egg. The standard key design in Sly 2 and 3 is just like little brown key. I think it would have been, not that it needed to be treasure keys every time, but you would have thought that they would have at least referenced them a little bit. Alright, on to our very first boss.
How delightful! We have a guest. The only thing is, I hate unexpected guests!
Listen, Raleigh, wipe up my family and steal what's mine? You better expect company.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry. How sloppy of me not to finish the job. Obviously, we should have snuffed you out as well. So, without further ado, let me make amends by what? Bloating to gargantuan size and squashing you like the insignificant bug that you are!
Bring it on.
I do like how, despite the fact that Sly is, at long last, facing one of his family's killers, he keeps it very cool, you know? He's, I think it would have, it wouldn't have been, in line with his character for him to have been, like, overly angry or emotional. He's just like, I'm here, I am effectively getting revenge, but I'm not gonna let it get to me. I would say that calm under pressure is one of Sly's key character traits, and it's been a while since I've seen or played, or seen anything, or much less played Sly 4, and I would say that that was one thing that they kind of missed, was that Sly doesn't always feel in character. A lot of people don't quite feel in character in Sly 4, and I think that's one thing, aspect of Sly's character that they kind of missed. And he's dead.
Beaten me. Well, gloat all you want, Sly Cooper. You're no match for Mugshot, my villainous cohort in Utah.
So, as a resident of Utah, imagine me as a kid playing a video game, and then just all of a sudden a character says, "Oh yeah, you're going to Utah now." I'm like, what? Well,
Raleigh's section of
love that little
Thievius
noise he
Raccoonus
makes at the
held
end.
detailed instructions on how to perform my ancestor Ryoichi Cooper's ninja spire jump, a technique he developed while sneaking into the thickly fortified castles of feudal Japan.
So, I've always preferred this impression of Ryoichi Cooper, where he seems like he's at the oldest in his, like, 30s, versus how they decided to depict him in Sly 4, where he's a lot older. Obviously, you know, he's long dead and he aged like anyone else, but, like, I always liked that idea of Ryoichi than what they went with in 4.
My gang and I loafed around England for a while, enjoying the pleasant weather, and then headed back home, excited for our next heist.
I took the liberty of pinning your mission map up on the wall.
Also, it's cool that here in the hideout we get a little trophy from each level that from each of the jobs that you complete. Yeah, each time Murray's in front of the next world doing something, so you can if you see around him, you can get a little peek, which I think is cool. So next time we will be moving on to Mugshot's area, so I will see you then.